Hello my friends, I'm back. It's Ebird Online. And today I'm going to break down the relationship of one of the most dramatic couples on this season of Before the 90 Days. Who am I talking about? Well, you might well ask. Guys, let's play Guess Who. So she's a sugar baby on borrowed time. She has a taste for the finer things in life except for in men. And she partakes in psychotic drama-fueled snooping. And she has a screaming tantrum every hour on the hour. Finally, she surrounds herself with gay guys and fat girls, for she's not one for competition. And what can we say about her suitor? Well, for most girls, he would be unsuitable. He's a salt-of-the-earth kind of guy, Middle-earth, and it would appear he has a predilection for humiliation. Ooh, cue the E-Bird. I don't disappoint. Right, what else? Babe Station plays on a loop in his head. His laugh is a crime against my ears, and thus far, his life seems to have been untroubled by success. That's right, you guessed it, I speak of Gino and Jasmine. I decided to recap this couple, and when I started watching again, I realised, oh my god, Jasmine is the weirdo of this couple. Now, raise your hands if you ever thought that we would be saying this after seeing Gino on week 1, that he was not the weirdest in that couple. It's unbelievable, but yet it's true, because Jasmine is nothing but a wild, tantrum-having crack baby, and a fucking tyrannical control freak. And usually I'd feel sorry for Gino, but he's an unlikable superficial and feeble invertebrate. So I don't. And so this video is going to be Gino and Jasmine, tantrum by tantrum. Yes, that's right, I'm going to analyse each and every time that she's flipped her freaking lid. Guys, I nearly forgot. Please, if you haven't done so yet, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And a massive thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far. I really do appreciate it. I was in the back of a taxi last week and the driver said, oh, what do you do? And I said property development, but I have a YouTube channel. And he said, oh, well, how many subscribers? And I was like, 40,000. And in the rearview mirror, I saw the arched eyebrow of disbelief. It felt really good. And it's all down to you guys, so thank you. And very quickly, don't forget to smash the like button to help my analytics. And so without further ado, I give you Gino and Jasmine. Where should we start? Well, right at the beginning, because the very first time we saw Jasmine, she threw a tantrum and she hadn't even met Gino at this point. So as I'm sure you guys remember, he went into a bar to get fish and chips, and before he left the house she demanded to know where he was going. He FaceTimed her from the takeaway, and when he introduced himself to the server and asked her name, like the bozo he is, Jasmine wildly threw her first tantrum. Now, a fair bit's been said about this. My take on it was that North Americans are much more friendly than we are in Europe, and they're more predisposed to saying, hey, how are you? And have a nice day. Whereas in the UK, customer service usually consists of, oh, what do you want now? Or, I've only got one pair of hands. A particular favourite of mine is, there's nothing I can do about it. Or, the chef says we can't deviate from the menu at all. And all of this is usually said with one hand placed on the hip, and undertaking very heavy eye rolls. Oh, you gotta love it. However, quite a few of you said you thought it was kind of a little bit weird that he asked the server her name, and I think it was a fairly even split between those who thought it was weird and those who thought it was kind of just friendliness. But that aside, I'll tell you what was weird. What was weird is Gino, because he sat outside and explained himself to her in one of the weakest televisual displays I've seen for years. Okay, maybe he was a bit forward finding out Brittany's name, but I genuinely believe his failure to clamp down on Jasmine's unreasonable behaviour paved the way for the horrors that followed. So tantrum number 2 comes in the very next episode, and it was right after Gino had just flown in, all the way to Panama, and they go for a meal in the hotel restaurant. And guys, she started tantruming almost immediately. And so Gino ordered a burger with mayo and cheese. And as luck would have it, Jasmine's a fussy eater, or, well, vegan or whatever you call it. Although as we later see, she does actually eat some meat. But that's another story for another day. And when Gino ordered his burger, she said, oh my god, he eats so much meat like a dinosaur. Really? A diplodocus perhaps? And she said, all this meat, I don't like it. Jasmine, my lovely, it's very lucky for you that you're not the one eating it. And so when they'd finished the meal, and it came to tipping, she told him in no uncertain terms and very forcefully, don't tip. And so Gino said, well, normally if I get good service, I'll tip 15%. And she said, no, I don't want you to, because us Panamanians can't afford it. And then these people start expecting it. And guys, I've got to say, as arguments go, it stood up to some sort of scrutiny. I thought, maybe that's possible. But then she had to go and blow it by saying, "Why do you want to tip her? Do you like her or something? Do you fancy her?" And then each and every time Gino tried to speak, she kept saying, "Do you have something with the waitress? Do you have something with the waitress?" How could he? He's only just arrived in Panama. And then when he tried to explain for a third time, she said, "I stopped listening like 10 minutes ago." Now I would like to say that she's just, a loon or very jealous, but this is more than that. This is toxic behaviour. What she's trying to do is to control Gino. Just before this outburst, she'd gone through his iPhone. Again, very controlling behaviour. And as she finished the last of her wine, she said, "You ruined everything." Guys, it's becoming a bit of a pattern. She goes wild, and then she blames it all on Gino. The very next tantrum was a micro tantrum, but a tantrum nevertheless. Jasmine, in her infinite wisdom, decided that she wanted to update Gino's look. And the truth be told, when I look at these sandals, I have to be honest, she's got a point. If I had to describe Gino's style, I'd say it's the fashion of somebody who sits in their bedroom all day playing video games, pausing only to watch Pornhub. Yeah, it doesn't look great. He's like a teenager from the 1990s. His jeans are Steve Jobs blue. He wears a lot of sportswear and everything seems to be, well, rather ill-fitting. It's not quite sports luxe, it's more sports homeless. Yeah, it's homeless chic. So head little madam in charge, Jasmine, decided to take him clothes shopping. And they walk around a store in Panama. And they had a couple of pairs of slacks and some shirts. The truth be told, everything I saw him wearing wasn't any better than he had already, so I'm not really sure where she was going with the whole thing, but I digress. When he got to the counter, the bill came to $500. And he refused to pay. He didn't even say, "Well, I'll buy this and I'll leave the rest." He said, "Because of COVID, I haven't worked for several months. And I refuse to spend $500 on clothes." And so at this point, I thought that Jasmine was going to throw a full-on tantrum, but she just had one of her silent tantrums. So she had a face mask on so we couldn't really see the full expression of her face, but her eyes narrowed, and she said of the shop assistant, "What shall I tell her?" "Jasmine, does it really matter? Just tell her you changed your mind. You don't know her." But she stood staring at Gino with her eyes narrowed. And she said very curtly in Spanish, "He's forgotten his wallet. Hold these, we'll be back." And then she looked at Gino and said, "Let's go." And she stalked out of the shop and she walked really quickly in front of him and she said, "I want to go to the hotel." It's not a full-on tantrum, but it's a mini tantrum. She's still trying to coerce him and control him. She never asked, "How much do you want to spend?" She never even really asked, "Well, what do you like? Do you like this? Do you like that?" She was just stalking around the store saying, "I like this in every colour. Get it in all the colours." And as we'll see from the very next tantrum, Gino's a frugal kind of guy. So I think the only reason he put his foot down in this situation was because it was $500. It was money that he could ill afford. And so tantrum number 4 was a Merry Christmas tantrum. And don't we all know these are the best tantrums of all? But they're usually had by little ones who have had rather too little sleep and too much chocolate. But this year we're treated to Jasmine's tantrums. Well, it's fair to suggest that Jasmine very quickly had the festive smile wiped off her face because Gino whipped her up breakfast. Knowing that she's a vegan, he cooked her scrambled eggs on toast. The whole time he was cooking, she kept saying, "I don't eat animals or any animal product." Then he kept on going, and when he presented her with a plate of eggs, she said, "Thank you, but I can't eat it because it's an animal product." But never mind all that, she kept a smile on her face. Next, it's time for gift. She bought him a t-shirt that said, "I love my crazy Panamanian girlfriend." And she had a twin t-shirt which said, "I am the crazy Panamanian girlfriend." Actually, I gotta say, I found it quite amusing. And then she bought him some sort of cushion. And then she said, "I like the kind of gift that you can't get in the shops." Where did you get it from then? That doesn't bode well. And the truth be told, the cushion looks like the woman next door ran it up. But never mind, I guess it's a thought that counts. Gino, what have you got for Jasmine? Guys, he had nothing. In fact, worse than nothing. He said, "Oh, you already have it. It's the lovely electronic toothbrush. You know, the kind that Panamanians have never seen." Oh, Lord. Yeah, she wasn't happy. But I suddenly thought to myself, Gino, don't sell yourself short. You've paid to come over here. You've paid for the hotel. You've bought her a wonderful toothbrush. But don't forget the pregnancy tests. That's another gift. Oh dear, he's so tight. And unsurprisingly, Jasmine's not having any of it. She said, I can't believe you. I've been stalking your social media for the last 9 months and I've discovered that you took these other bitches to Europe, all these great destinations on holiday. You're careless with me. You think nothing of me. And the truth be told, it kind of seems a little bit like it might be true. Gino, you couldn't have bought her a bottle of perfume in duty free? Or a nice dress, or there's so many things you could have bought her. Even at this very late stage, you could have still said, I didn't want to buy anything that you wouldn't like because I didn't know you properly. So what I decided is that you have $1,000 and you can go shopping on a spree next week in the sales. But instead, no, Gino doubles down. And when she said, you haven't bought me a present, he said, I have. It's the toothbrush. Gino, shut the F up about the toothbrush now. You're making it worse. So I think it's fair to say for the first time, I'm completely behind Jasmine on this one. Gino, you could have bought her something. If you're going to tell me you don't even have $200 in your account, then you should not be on holiday and you should not be trying to get her pregnant. If you have money for a baby, like you say you do, if you've got money for a toothbrush, and if you've got money for pregnancy tests, you should have saved all of that money, put it together and bought her a bloody gift. You're being very selfish. You're thinking just about what you want. And you're making a very tetchy tantrum haver, ever more prone to tantrums. In short, you're adult. But it's tantrum number 5 that really convinced me of the manipulative and coercive nature of Jasmine's tantrums. So it's the following day, and the couple go to the gym. And Gino tells us I thought I'd accompany her to the gym, as I thought it would cheer her up. No, Gino, some form of Christmas present would cheer her up. Or even perhaps you saying, I dropped the baton, it won't happen again. Although, to be fair to Gino, he did explain to Jasmine yesterday that he got all excited when he first met her, and he should have waited to give her the toothbrush on Christmas Day, but instead he spunked his load, and he gave her the toothbrush immediately. You little idiot. And so Jasmine begins her workout, and as she's working out, Gino asks her stupid questions. Is that a rep? Is that a set? And she said, when I'm at the gym, I like not to be spoken to. But then it would seem she changed her mind. Indeed, she wanted to talk. What did she want to talk about? The holiday that she's booked. A holiday? And she explains to him that it's on an island just off the coast of Panama, and it's going to cost him $2,500. He prevaricates for a moment or two, but realising that he stands on the shaky ground on which he does, he acquiesces and tells her that he'll take her. She grinned an inane grin like a Labrador, and she was very happy for a second. But secretly Gino's not quite as happy as he would have us believe. He moans on to production, and he said, I can't believe she didn't ask me about the money first. I've had to pay for flights, hotels, entertainment, and food. True, and Gino, don't push it. She's a bloody vegan. Vegetables cost next to nothing. And also, whether you're eating in Panama or America, you'd be eating anyway, so why add food in? And I think because she was unable to have an argument about the holiday, she suddenly decides to tell him that she wants to set fire to all the stupid things in Gino's house. Gino hasn't worked for 7 months, so Gino's in his house. Would you like him to burn too? Sometimes, by the way she looks at him, I think, yes, in hell. But when he asked her what she meant, she explained that the walls were red and baby blue. Does sound atrocious, gotta say. And she said, who chose those colours? It's awful. But Gino said that he likes it. Of course you do, Gino. Gino, your clothes and the size of your caps tell everybody that you're totally devoid of taste. So the fact that you like it means nothing. But she asked him who chose it, and he explained it was a combination of him and his ex-wife. And full tantrum mode ensued. She screamed, I deserve to pick the colours. And guys, at this point, I was actually worried for Gino. He started rubbing his elbows and self-soothing, which in body language means that you're trying to placate yourself and soothe yourself. It's not a good state to be in. And he said to her, don't say nasty stuff. And she said, why do you always defend her? Are you her lawyer? Are you still fucking her? Fuck you! And she fully breaks down into tears. And then she said, you compare me to her all the time. And she stormed out of the room and sat in the lobby of the hotel. And I've got to say, guys, Gino has never once compared her to his ex-wife. In fact, Gino doesn't dare to bring up his ex-wife, for he knows what will happen. She brings it up, and if he doesn't absolutely say, yeah, she was a massive bitch, she falls down in floods of tears. It's very strange. So Gino runs after her, and he tells production, I'm so shocked that she can get upset so easily. Her emotional instability gives me concerns for the future. You don't say. And when he finds her sitting on a chair in the lobby, she's full on sobbing. And between her sobs, she manages a little mini gaslight. And she says, it's so painful for him to tell me that he likes the colour, knowing that that will make me mad. Oh, Jasmine, everything makes you mad. And when nothing makes you mad, you'll find something, just so that you can maintain the control. And the final time that we see this couple, we catch Gino with production. Guys, Gino's sounding like a full-on battered wife. He said, she brought the topic up, but then she went ballistic. But I should have seen the warning signs, and that she was about to explode. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't see the warning signs of a mad person. You shouldn't be expected to see the warning signs of someone who's not just being unreasonable, but preposterous. And then Jasmine speaks to production, and she says, I've been hurt before, profoundly, and because of that, I feel really very, very vulnerable. And that's why I behave like I do. Guys, look to your left, look to your right, think about yourself. Have any of you ever gone through life and never been broken up with, cheated on, let down in some way, whether it's by a friend or a partner? I would say 95% of us have been profoundly hurt before. What makes Jasmine think that her hurt can in any way justify these ridiculous displays of petulance? I'm going to talk more about this at the end because I think she's got an absolute definite game plan, and I think she uses it to great effect. And they're in the hotel room now, and Jasmine tells him we should slow down on moving in together and having children. You can go back to hunting on your website. Gino said nothing, but he said to producers, I should have just said I don't like the colours on the wall, then this never would have blown up. Gino, had you said that, she would have just chosen something else to blow up about, for that's what she wants to do. Be under no illusions, she will always have these tantrums because it works. And Jasmine stalked through the hotel room and said, your bond to these people is still tangible, and tomorrow I'm leaving. Jasmine, bitch, you're going to have to tell somebody that hasn't run all these tricks themselves. I know good and well, if I'm leaving, I don't say I'm leaving, I start packing. I am gone. If I have to announce I am leaving, that quite simply tells the world I'm not leaving. Why are you leaving tomorrow? Why not today? You live in Panama after all. There's nothing to organise other than a taxi. Why not go right now? Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, she's leaving tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Anybody that says they're leaving tomorrow wants to give you, at least 12 to 24 hours to talk them round, to acquiesce, to capitulate. That's what they want. I know, I've done it myself. So immediately he starts saying, how can we work this out? What do I need to do? And so she said, don't tell me about any trips that you've been on with your exes. Jasmine, he never has. Remember, you stalked him on social media. He didn't tell you. You found out yourself. And then she said, don't talk about any of your exes. From what I've heard, again, he's never done it. And then she says, otherwise things will get very, very bad. Jasmine, things are already very, very bad. You're still fucking here. Get to hopping. You said you were going. Are you still here? And then she said, yes or no? And he said, yes. And then he said, do you still want marriage and kids? Oh, Gino, she never wanted that. She wanted a green card, exposure and clout. But guys, just when you think things couldn't get any worse, this whole narrative takes a very sinister turn. And we get to see what I think the real Jasmine is like. She's a mean girl. I knew that when I first saw her. I thought it all the way through, and I think it even more now. She's mean for no reason. Because she looked at him and she said, I've got something to tell you. And she let him know she was taking birth control pills and there was no chance that she was pregnant. But as she said it, guys, she gave a really sinister little smile and she was really staring at him. She really wanted to see the disappointment in his face. She seemed to be enjoying the fact that she might be upsetting him. And because she wasn't getting enough from him, she said, are you disappointed? She may as well have just said, I want you to be disappointed. I'm throwing myself on my knees and praying to the Lord that you are disappointed. She's not a good girl. She's not a nice person. She really isn't. And she lets him know, we're not ready for kids right now. This is true, but there's ways to say things. And she said, and we're not even close. Again, true. And Gino said to production, we both agreed that it would be great if she got pregnant on this trip. Gino, you'd never ever met her before, nor she you. You've worked out in these 2 weeks that she's a loon of the highest order. So neither of you had the capacity to say, yes, let's get pregnant in this trip, because you didn't know each other. And we finish up by Gino saying, I'm happy that we can talk, and I'm happy that we've got through these issues. And that's the end of Jasmine's tantrums thus far. So what does the Ebird think to this? Well, Gino said, I'm glad that we've got through these issues. You haven't got through any issues. You've simply agreed to her every demand. Gino, you're currently on holiday. Whilst you're on holiday, she's booked you another holiday. You've already told her you don't have any money, and she's insisting that you pay $2,500. All because you didn't buy her a Christmas present. That is not proportionate. Does she have the right to demand a Christmas present? Maybe, maybe not. If it were me, I would. I'd be very unhappy if someone didn't buy me anything at all, not even just a little gesture or a little trinket. But that's where any moral high ground ends with you, Jasmine. Everything else you do is highly disturbing, and at some points mendacious. So guys, what do you think? Here's my take, in a nutshell, on Jasmine's behaviour. Jasmine has a tantrum about something real or imagined. The reason she has a tantrum is in order to better control Gino. She knows that if he's feeling on the back foot about something, or sorry about something, or that Jasmine might leave, he then acquiesces to any demand she might make. She's also testing him to see just how far she can push and just what she can and can't get away with. So far, more or less everything. And I low-key think the only reason she didn't push him buying the clothes were because the clothes were for him and not her. Had that shopping spree been for her, I think we would have seen a big tantrum instead of the silent tantrum that we saw. I think it's fair to say she's a little bit bewildered by Gino's demeanour. I think she thought her fake tits and lips would be enough to sort of have him whipped, but sometimes he shows a little bit of backbone and he says, no, don't say bad things about my ex-wife, or he'll deny her something. And it's almost like she thinks, I'm so far above you that I can't believe that you've said no, or that you've done something which you know might well upset me. So I'm going to go all out on a massive, gigantic tantrum so I can put you in your place. Because that's the way that I know I get the things I want. So if we roll back to the start of the video, when I said she hangs around with gay guys and larger girls because she doesn't like the competition, I just have a feeling that every friend she's had and every relationship she's going to get into is going to be with people who are subservient to her for some reason. I think all of Jasmine's bad behaviour is done in order to control Gino. And what's the best way to control them? Is to discombobulate them. And it's to make them worried, thinking any little thing I say might send her over the edge. Oh God, what shall I do? She's a coercive controller, and if all of this isn't bad enough, there's her mean streak. So when she told him, I'm on birth control, she had a very sinister smile there, and she was looking forward to enjoying his pain or his irritation. And when he didn't really show it, she said, are you disappointed? In other words, I need to see it. I need to see that I have the power and capacity to upset you. So guys, I would love to see what you think about these tantrums and about the reasons that you think she has the tantrums. Please let me know. Do you think she's just got a short temper? Do you think it's valid that she said, I've been hurt before and that's why I behave like a lunatic? And bear in mind, she doesn't deny behaving like a lunatic, she just excuses it. I wouldn't mind so much if she didn't even know, but she knows. Or do you think, like I do, it's a method of control and it gives her the continued upper hand in the relationship? So let me know what you think in comments down below and I will get on with my very next video. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Also, please, if you can, smash that like button. I want to try and get my likes up because that's what helps me to get higher views and it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So please, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you don't want to miss any of my future content, please don't forget to subscribe and press the notification bell. You've been listening to Ebird Online and I bid you good day.